Hello everyone, Marco Montemagno here, Digital Domination Summit 2013, and with me, Jeff Hagins, co-founder and CTO of SmartThings. Hi Jeff, how are you going?
Hi Marco, great, how are you?
Everything great. I'm connecting with people from all over the world. I should do a video probably, the world tour in split screen video interviews. You are in Los Angeles now, I'm in UK. Before I was talking with Phil Bosch, he was in Australia, and so it's crazy, everything is changing. So Jeff, I just go straight to the point, and you have a great background and great experience in all this world of Internet of Things. Everyone talk about Internet of Things now. We met at the last LabWeb in Paris, and the theme was only about Internet of Things. And I think will have a really huge impact on companies all over the world and on people all over the world, but still it's not so clear what really does it mean and what you really could do with that. So I would like to start from this topic, and then I would like to go deep inside the SmartThings experience, because it's obviously a very successful adventure and it's still going, so it's very interesting, and I think there are a lot of lessons we can learn from your experience. So Internet of Things, what's going on in your experience? Can you try to translate this concept in a very easy way that all the companies could understand?
Sure. So, I think one thing that's important to understand is that we're just at the beginning of this journey, right? We're just at the beginning of this evolution of connected devices, and we're in a mode or a phase of this evolution where we're seeing lots and lots of discrete connected devices, right? Ranging from quantified self devices like the Fitbit to home automation solutions, to home security, industrial applications, elder care and healthcare applications.
Right.
Lots of different applications, but by and large at the moment, they're all individual discrete devices that have their own infrastructure in the cloud from a mobile app perspective, right? And so, and everybody's familiar with these, right? I might have a Fitbit that has its own mobile app. I might have the Belkin Wemo that I can use to turn on and off a light, and that Belkin Wemo device uses the Belkin cloud infrastructure and the Belkin Wemo app on your phone. And that phase of individual solutions is an absolutely necessary part of this evolution of the Internet of Things. But it seems pretty clear that that's not where it's going to end up, right? That every device shouldn't be an island that has its own app, its own cloud infrastructure, right? Because I don't think the true benefit of the Internet of Things is not just about being able to see and control individual devices from your mobile app, right? That's not the benefit of the Internet of Things. It's cool, don't get me wrong, right? It's great to be able to unlock my front door from this device with the Lockatron door lock, right? But the real benefit, right, of the Internet of Things is when all of these devices can work together, right? Can start interacting with each other, so that when something happens, right, when I arrive home, that my front door automatically unlocks because I'm home, right? Now, how do you start to accomplish those types of things? And that's really about this next evolution of the Internet of Things, right? Where devices have to connect to some kind of common connectivity layer or fabric or platform that allows consumers and businesses and industries to automate and provide intelligence across devices without the device manufacturers themselves having to understand or know about any of that.
But do you agree, Jeff, that until this moment I would say the majority also of developers and companies around the world perceive all the Internet of Things development as a difficult thing. You know, if you have to develop, I don't know, platform, online platform, or maybe a mobile app, is, you know, quite easy. You can go on Odesk and say, yeah, I need this tool, just do it. But until this moment, and that's why I think SmartThings is so interesting, I think was very difficult to even imagine to develop Internet of Things apps or this kind of stuff. Now things are changing, I think. I mean, SmartThings is one of the most interesting player around, but the ecosystem probably is changing. Am I right or wrong?
Absolutely. You know, I think things are getting easier, right? That there are companies, not just SmartThings, but others that are investing in creating solutions that make solving these problems much, much easier, right? So that manufacturers who want to have connected devices, right, and want their devices to be able to participate in this world of the Internet of Things, can do that without having to invent everything from scratch, right? That there are tools and platforms and services that are now being developed or coming online that make this much, much easier.
Can you give me, Jeff, few examples of sectors where you think that Internet of Things will have the biggest impact, in your opinion?
Sure. Well, you know, I think we do a lot of demos at SmartThings where we're doing kind of fun demos, as you remember from Le Web in Paris, where we're turning on the Christmas tree lights or turning on someone's hot tub because they're on the way home. And there are a lot of fun things that can come out of the Internet of Things, but the Internet of Things also has the potential to really completely redefine a number of industries. And I think that ranges from home security and home automation as the prime consumer example, but also industries like healthcare, you know, and some cases that people don't really think about, right? Like what if I had a connected thermometer at home, right? Okay. So that every time I took my child's temperature to see if they had a fever, that data was automatically made available to my doctor.
Okay.
Right. So and my doctor could have a set of rules that said, when you take your child's temperature and it's over a certain temperature, the doctor should automatically be notified, right? And what are the other kind of home healthcare devices that could also participate in that kind of connectivity and automation? I, for one, would like it if the doctor would call me instead of me having to call the doctor, right? Yeah. That if a certain set of things happens at home with my children, that the doctor calls and says, you know, you should probably bring your child in because it's time
you didn't behave good. and also,
I think,
yeah, excuse me, Jeff. Yeah,
and that kind of you know, you can take that same idea, take that same idea of kind of optimizing the value chain, right, for a certain industry, whether it's home healthcare or elder care at home, right? We've already seen with our platform, we've already seen someone write an application that monitors so that if my grandmother gets out of bed in the middle of the night and goes to the restroom and then doesn't come back to bed within 10 minutes,
okay,
that I can get an automated notification that says something's wrong here, yeah, right? Because grandma got out of bed in the middle of the night and didn't come back, right? And that's just the tip of the iceberg there as well, that the ability to kind of monitor someone who, you know, an elder care situation who needs that kind of monitoring and automation, and we want to be able to preserve their quality of life, their standard of living, without having to have an in-home nurse to take care of this person. Right. You want them to be independent, but you want to be able to know, is everything okay?
Sensors. I was thinking also, I don't know, for insurance companies. I mean, how this can change so many things probably.
It's another great example of an industry that is going to be redefined by the Internet of Things, because insurance, home insurance in particular, but insurance of all kinds, healthcare, home insurance, auto insurance, is an industry that is driven by actuarial risk, right? The rates that you pay are a function of the actuarial risk of something bad happening, right? But what in the case of home insurance, one of the top kind of number one or number two categories of claims is water damage in the home, right? But now, what if I can put a system in your home that will automatically detect water someplace where there's not supposed to be water, right? Under my dishwasher, my refrigerator, my washing machine, my hot water heater. It will detect water where there's not supposed to be water, and it will automatically turn off a valve to prevent damage from that water.
Cool.
If I do that, and if I can do that at scale, now the actuarial risk of water damage drops to a very low number, and my rates come down, right? And the insurance companies that are going to kind of take the leap in the Internet of Things and actually provide this kind of technology to their customers are going to be at the leading edge of redefining an entire industry.
That's amazing. I was thinking that recently I read this news about a company that basically is producing a plaster with a sensor inside, and women who want to get pregnant, basically, they just get this plaster on. The plaster communicate wireless with an app, basically, and when there are the 24 hours, 48 hours that are good, to get a baby, then pop up small alerts and say, hey, probably you should work it out, and but it's think of it, it's a silly thing, but it's very important. I mean, think how many couples would like to get a baby, but they they can get help, and I mean in all the industries. Very specific tip. What would you recommend to a company who wanna enter in this Internet of Things world, but simply doesn't know how to start, where to start from? What's your take about it?
Sure, and it's a great question, because there are lots of manufacturers who are obviously experts in whatever it is they manufacture, right? The company that builds the garage door opener for your garage at home, right, is an expert at the garage door, but they're not an expert in connectivity to the cloud. They're not an expert at writing mobile apps. They're not an expert at the wireless frequencies and protocols and what's going to work best, right? And there are lots of different choices, right? So my first recommendation is don't try to solve these problems on your own, right? It's not, we're now right at the edge of this evolution where and up until this point, companies haven't had any choice, right? If I'm a manufacturer, I have to solve these problems on my own, right? Because there haven't been platforms or solutions available to help them. But now we're at a point where those types of technologies are available. So if I'm building an automated pet feeder to feed my dog, and I want to be able to connect that device to the cloud and have a mobile app so that I can push the button and feed my dog from anywhere, right? Don't solve that problem on your own. Reach out to one of the companies in this space that is building solutions, building platforms that can provide the discrete technology to help you bring this online. And that's actually going to help you reduce your time to market, right? And it's going to get you a more robust solution than if you did it all by yourself.
Yeah, I would like to go on the SmartThings topic. SmartThings is the company that you co-founded, and I remember a successful Kickstarter campaign, and I was talking with Phil Boschua from LifeX, and they also had a very successful campaign on Kickstarter. They've been raising over $1,500,000, so a successful campaign. What are the lessons learned from that experience? This is number one. And number two, I always wonder who is successful on Kickstarter if they previously had a community of people that they leverage basically, or if you started from zero and you just got your success on Kickstarter.
Sure. No, it's a great question. We did have a very successful campaign. We had about 6,500 backers that supported us on Kickstarter. I think in terms of broad lessons learned on Kickstarter, and before I even go into that, one thing that's important to understand is that we weren't using Kickstarter as a vehicle for funding the company.
Okay.
The company was already funded, right? The company was already well on its way. The product was basically built, and we really used Kickstarter as a channel to reach out to our three different constituencies: consumers, developers, and makers, right? And because of the nature of our business, we really needed to start to build a community there of consumers, developers, and makers. And we decided that Kickstarter was the right vehicle for reaching out to those different constituencies and starting to build that broader community. That said, and to your point, we didn't just throw the Kickstarter project open and wait for something magical to happen, right? And I think that's a mistake that a lot of companies make.
Yeah.
They launch something on Kickstarter and just wait to see if something's going to happen, right? Wait to see if it's going to take off. And if it does, great, but you can't depend on that. And so in our case, we had put an enormous amount of energy, first of all, into building a Facebook fan base. Before we launched the Kickstarter campaign, we had 10,000 Facebook fans.
Okay.
Right? And we put not only energy, but we put money into building that Facebook fan base, right? We were running Facebook advertising and doing other types of social marketing in order to promote SmartThings into Facebook and to acquire those Facebook fans, right? Then, after we had launched the Kickstarter campaign, or sort of in tandem with the launch, we also had a list of 100 different technology bloggers that we wanted to cover the company and what we were doing, right? And we had a very intense PR effort to reach out to all of those technology bloggers and to get them to cover us and to talk about what we were doing.
That's interesting.
Right?
So the lesson here is that you could use Kickstarter. Everyone think that Kickstarter is only for raising funds, but you say you could also use it to reach your community, makers, developers, or users. So it's a very smart use, I think, of it. We have a few minutes more, so I just have to run, Jeff. I was interested also in the production part, because we talk often about digital software or software as a service platform, but you physically create an object and you have to deliver an object. So number one, are you producing in China like everyone in the world is doing, or you have a different kind of production?
We're actually producing in the US right now.
All right.
We're evaluating whether we're going to take that offshore to China or some other offshore manufacturing center. The cost implications are important, right?
Yeah.
That we want to get the cost of our hardware down as low as we can in order to reduce the barrier to sale for the average consumer. But we are manufacturing onshore today, and you're absolutely right that building real consumer electronics devices, it's not called hardware for nothing, right? It's hard. And building one is hard, but building 5 is 5 times as hard, right? And that's what we actually chose to do, was to build 5 different consumer electronics devices and take them to market at the same time that we were launching our cloud platform, launching our mobile applications, and launching our developer and maker tools for people to build on our platform. So there are a lot of moving parts for sure.
And how are you delivering now? How many orders you have to deliver now?
We had about 10,000 pre-orders between Kickstarter and additional pre-orders that we took on our website.
Okay, and how are you delivering now these products?
So we just started shipping 1st of April. We started shipping, but now we're kind of in full manufacturing mode, which means that we have our manufacturing production lines up and running. We have our fulfillment center up and running that's responsible for all of the assembly and kitting and shipping to individual customers. And by the end of May, we will have our e-commerce site up and running so that we can now start to take additional orders, as well as allow people to do in-app purchases, so that if you want to buy more things from us, you'll actually do that from within the mobile app. And that's a super important part of our strategy, because we firmly believe that the average consumer is not going to just decide that they need to buy another camera or to buy another motion sensor for their home. What they are going to respond to is a very use case centric view, where they see an application that they want to use on our platform, and they say, oh, I want that application, and the application tells them, oh, but you need some more hardware to do this, and they push a button, and we're shipping them the new hardware that they need in order to actually create the experience that they want to have in terms of connected devices.
Any tips about production, Jeff, for companies around the world who have to, they have to produce finally physical object, but the physical object has to be connected with the digital world, and maybe they have an e-commerce. So it's, for so many companies, it's really tough, because it's not so easy to handle everything. In your experience?
Well, I mean, if you're already a manufacturer, then you don't need to hear from me, because you already know about manufacturing, right? If you are a maker or inventor and you have an idea for something, again, go work with someone, whether it's a consulting company, go work with someone who has that experience in industrial design, in circuit board design, in injection molding, in setting up the manufacturing production line, in kitting, in assembly. There is so much that is involved in taking a product from idea to actual production and ready for delivery, right? And while some aspects of that have gotten so much easier, right? We are in this kind of renaissance of hardware where, I can have circuit boards manufactured in a day now and turn around a new design. It is very important that you iterate over and over and over again until you get it right. Don't assume that you're going to get it right the first time, because you're not. You're not going to get it right the second or the fifth time either. You have to go through a very iterative process in order to finally get the product that you are ready to build, that doesn't have any issues from a production perspective, right? And it's a lot of energy. So again, find someone who has expertise in these things, who can help you with all the things that I've talked about.
Jeff, last question. 3 mobile apps, or 3 tools, or 3 platforms, or 3 websites that you really would recommend for all the companies doing online business. If it's anything that you use every day, or that you think, gosh, I couldn't live without this app, or do you have your top 3, if I can ask?
Wow, I'm gonna have to think about that.
Yeah, or also your favorite one. But I'm always curious, about what tools are used by entrepreneurs and by companies around.
Yeah, I think we certainly do everything online, right? Software as a service or web services is critical to our business and moving quickly, right? So whether it's Google for mail, and Google Docs and Google Hangouts and all the things that we can do there that increase our productivity, to Salesforce.com, right? Actually is the backbone of our business management and our order management platform, right? We use an e-commerce platform called Spree, which is an amazing kind of next generation e-commerce platform.
Spree, S-P-R-E-E.
S-P-R-E-E.
All right.
Yeah. And I think, but the theme there is, software as a service, online services. The Amazon cloud is, we couldn't have gotten where we are without the flexibility of the Amazon cloud in order to quickly get up and running and not have to worry about these things. And all of that is kind of business infrastructure that 10 years ago, 15 years ago would have consumed us as a business to figure out how to do all of those things. And now we can kind of push a button and have an answer.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Jeff Hagins, the CTO of SmartThings. Jeff, good luck for everything, and thanks for your time.
Thank you, Marco.